Okay, here we go with the first recap. So, the first thing to practice up on the screen. Basically, like your reference sheet for the different kind of notes, the rhythm values we've gone over. So, start with the whole note, half note, then the quarter note, dotted half note, the last three beats, and then that tied note where the things carry over. So, the goal here, I want you to work this up from 60 to 120. And that's basically what I want you to do for everything except number 6. And I'm going to talk more about that when we get to it. So, when it comes to building things up, speeding things up, you got to do it slow. You retain things better. It allows your brain to take things in more efficiently, and it really helps develop that muscle memory you want far more effectively than jumping the gun and increasing the speed too quickly. So, that being said, like in the beginning, like the first few days you're working on this stuff, it's probably best that you go up by like 5 beat per minute increments each time you get this thing right. And this goes for all, pretty much everything. So for exercises 1 through 5, where you're doing your counting and all, start off by going by 5s. All you got to do is play through this thing correctly once, and then you go up 5. Now, that'll definitely take quite a bit of time. So if you want to pace yourself with this, like maybe work it up to like 80 or 90 for everything on the first day, or use your judgment. Like if it feels like you can easily just keep going and going and going, then go ahead and do that. But the idea, as I've talked about with you, is like at least 20 minutes a day is the practice, or how long you want to practice this stuff. Now, if you're feeling pretty good with it, and you feel like you can go longer, and you want to go longer, have at it. Just want to make sure that the stuff that we do is going to be you're able to get a good amount of work done in 20 minutes. Now, because we're doing an hour, probably best to do a bit more, like maybe like 30 minutes. But I think you already said you already can play a heck of a lot more. Just want to make sure that you still do the stuff that you just have fun doing, instead of just this stuff. Because if it's just this stuff for too long, it's definitely gonna wear on you. It'll wear on anybody. But anyway, so once you get to that point where things are feeling pretty good, let's say like this first one, I imagine this is probably going to be the easiest one for you. So maybe after like a couple days of working it up, maybe you start going up by 10s, and then eventually up by 20s. So what I'd like you to do, bare minimum speed for exercises 1 through 5, each day you practice, is go 60, 80, 100, 120. So if you do those 4 speeds, bare minimum each day, just to keep things fresh, that's going to be very helpful. So the other thing, since we have the 2 weeks here, so I'm back, what you could do is just focus on exercises 1 through 5 for the first week, and then start working on exercise 6 while you maintain exercises 1 through 5 for the second week. So that's just a suggestion, just to make sure you're not getting overloaded with stuff, even though we have 2 weeks. So anyway, with the metronome going at 60 beats a minute to start, you're going to basically do what you were doing here already, which was fantastic to see. You were already doing it without me even saying anything. So yeah, tap your foot when you play, count out loud as you go. So for this one on screen, I want you to count every single beat the entire time. So keep counting the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 the whole time. So here we go. 60 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And really for that last chord here, you don't need to let that ring the whole 4. Just get to that to resolve the whole progression. Alright, here we go. It's 80 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 100 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. And 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. All right. Moving on to number 2. So this one, basically, along with any kind of rhythm that might be troubling, you might not know quite what to do at first glance, count the rhythm first. So count the rhythm first, play one bar at a time. You can play that one bar several times before moving on to the next, so break it down. So one thing I mentioned was, after you get comfortable with the counts, what you can do is like play that bar like several times in a row, like maybe like 4 times, and make sure you feel comfortable with that, and then you do this bar by itself and so on. And then once you do each bar by themselves, then you can do 2 bars at a time and work those together, and then make sure that you do the 4th bar into the 1st bar, so this way you get practice with the repeats. And yes, that's what your repeat symbol is. Basically, it's this whole thing that I'm circling right now. This whole thing is the repeat symbol. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. So when you see the dots pointing to the left, so the dots aren't telling you to play it twice. If it was to be played more than that, let's say that's something silly, it would say something more. So 23 times. Now you got to play that 23 times. So by default, it's always just play through the whole thing twice. So there we go. So there, yeah, just when you see that repeat symbol, that just means, yeah, play it twice. If there was more than twice, you'd see something like 3x or 3 times up above this area right here. And yeah, so here we go. I'm gonna do the same speeds. And remember, for this, for exercises 2, 3, 4, and 5, you're only gonna say the part that you play. So basically, mimic what I do. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and done. 80 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and done. 100 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and done. And 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and done. Okay. Number 3. We got the upbeat focus coming in. So yeah, keep that foot tapping on every single downbeat. Keep the arm going the whole time. So yeah, you're going to have that upstroke here, and then you miss the downstroke, and then hit the next upstroke. And if you need to, count the rhythm first. And here we go, same 4 speeds. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2 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 and 4. Done. 80 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 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 4. Done. 100 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 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 4. Done. 120. A 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 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 4. Done. Itchy nose, and apparently an itchy arm too. Okay, number 4. Here we go at 60. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 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 3, 4. Done. 80 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 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 3, 4. Done. 100 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 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 3, 4. Done. 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 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 3, 4. 1 number 5. Okay. Here we go. 60 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 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 done. Lordy, lordy. Alright, 80 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 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 done. 100 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 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 done. And 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 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 done. Okay. Some more throat clearing apparently. What the hell's going on? So this is, we'll start with like the starter version for the full number 6, where you're going to be playing every single note of that 3-note per string shape for the major scale. So the goal is work this up from 60 to 240 beats a minute, going by increments of 5 beats per minute. No faster than that. Don't do it. Don't do it. When you're working on pure speed stuff, you want to be slow as you're going up. You need to push the speed, absolutely, but you got to build those mechanics. You got to have all the millions of repetitions gradually increasing the speed. It's very, very, very helpful. So after you get this to 240, and then you begin working on the other one, like the full thing, the full 16th note deal, be very honest with yourself. If, after getting the 8th notes up to 240, if playing at 120 seems extra challenging, a big pain in the butt, or if for some reason you can't get all the way up to 120, go back down to 8th notes, do it again. Go further with the 8th notes, maybe go up to 250, 270, 300, whatever. Just really push it. So push the 8th notes as far as you can. So I would put it to you this way instead. Instead of just stopping at 240, go as fast as you can with the 8th notes. And then, eventually it's going to be a huge pain in the butt to hear the click anyway. So if you make it to 300 with 8th notes, then definitely call it quits there and then start the 16th notes. But I definitely want you hitting at least, bare minimum, 240 with the 8th notes before you start working on the 16th notes. And every time you practice this, always start at 60. I don't care how fast you get. I care how fast you get, but I'm saying, if let's say you're working the 8th notes up, and you get to 200 beats a minute, and then the next day you go to practice, You don't start at 100. You don't start at 120 or 80. You start all the way back down at 60 and keep getting all those repetitions in. Now, you're going to reach points where your brain starts to get tired and you need like a little 30, 60 second break. That's fine. Do that. Or you even get to the point where your right or left hand or arms get tired. Take little breathers there too. Just like at the gym, you have to have those breaks in between the sets. So you have a shit ton of reps going up, which is basically what you're doing to start with. Reps after rep after rep after rep. You very high volume set of reps, and you keep going faster. You reach a point where you have to have like a 30, 60 second break there, 30 to 60 seconds, and then you do it again. And then you can get like a few more increases in the speed there. So how do you know when to stop? The way I judge it, and it's going to take a little bit of time for you to understand how you work here, but it's basically you get to the point where it takes like damn near all your mental capacity to hit the speed. I mean, when you're pushing and it feels like a huge son of a bitch, that's the take to stop on. But you always stop on one that you get correct. Never end on a mistake. Never end on a bad take. So yeah, speaking of the practice, remember, anytime a mistake happens, start your run all over again. After a few times of starting over, if a mistake happens, you may need to address the area of the mistake. So let's just say, like, maybe going from the A string up to go from the A string to the D string. Maybe that's where the mistake keeps happening. So just focus on, here to here type thing, and just drill that for a little bit, and then go back to trying the whole thing. So yeah, practice makes perfect is very untrue. Only perfect practice makes perfect. But understand that mistakes are going to happen. It is inevitable. If you're not making mistakes, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. And it's really about, what do you do when the mistake happens? That's the important thing. Because obviously, if we could have perfect practice the whole time, we wouldn't need to practice. So mistakes happen. We just need to address them as soon as they happen. Okay. And of course, if any questions come up with this stuff, let me know. I will have my laptop with me out in California, so if you have any questions, send them my way, and I'll get to you as soon as I can. Should be within 24 hours. Plan on checking stuff at least once a day, most days. So maybe 48. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to demonstrate this at various speeds, just so you can double check your performance with mine at the different little benchmark speeds here. I'm going to do the speeds a little bit different this time, but starting at 60, because hey, that's our starting point. 1, 2, 3, 4. No need to count out loud for this if you don't feel the need to. Just make sure you hit each note 4 times. Alright, so double speed now, 120 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. Love a good pinch. If anything, count 4. Just count your pick strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this way you keep track of where you are with each note. So that could be something to try. Here's 160 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, I usually don't get D string pinches too well. I'm on a roll. 200 beats a minute. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh. Keep tapping your foot while you do this stuff too. If the tapping gets to be too fast, tap every other beat, but definitely tap. So basically, when you're starting out, tap on all 4 beats, because it's very important even when you're shredding your ass off. In fact, it might be even more important because you gotta help keep yourself in line with the click. So let's say 200 beats a minute, your foot's just having a damnedest time keeping up. So maybe just tap on beats 1 and 3, so to every other beat there, and that's something I'll do when it gets really, really fast. So here it is at 240, the old graduation speed, the bare minimum speed to get to with eighth notes. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I screwed up that pinch right there. Okay, so now the big boy. So back down to 60. 1, 2, 3, 4. Double time, 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, I'm gonna go to 140 next. 1, 2, 3, 4. And yes, you mentioned it earlier today. Pick the downbeat a little extra harder. So, really emphasize the downbeat. It's a very, very good thing to do to help keep in time with things. And yes, I do remember Troy Grady talking about that. So yes, very, very good thing to do. Especially when you're going like crazy ass fast. Anyway, 160. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 180. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll stop at 200. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so yeah, I wouldn't worry about pick slanting stuff like at all right now. Just make it sound good. A lot of times, and the way I developed two-way pick slanting was I just metronome like fucking crazy for countless hours, and I just made sure that it sounded correct. And my hand just kind of, my hand and arm just did the whole rotation thing without me even knowing it until Troy pointed it out. In fact, I don't know if he's even going to do anything with the thing he made me, but he it was like around a 25-minute video where he like slowed down everything I was doing with some certain things and like basically showed me this is how I pick when I thought I was just like keeping everything just as a perfect straight down up the whole time. I was like, nope, I'm mostly an upward pick slanter, but I also do downward slanting for certain things. Apparently Michelangelo Badio and I pick very similarly. We do a lot of two-way pick slanting on the way up a scale, but then we do the whole swiping thing on the way down a scale. So I guess I'm in good company. Shit. I just can't do the anchor thing that he does with his 3 fingers. Anyway, fairly lengthy video recap here, but that's partly because this is, the first one. I had to go over important things, like on how to practice, what to do when a mistake happens, things like that. And a little bit extra material than normal just because, we got the 2 weeks apart. So we'll stick with the original plan of kind of splitting things in half, like do some rhythm or technique stuff like during the first 30-40 minutes, and then do some theory talk after that. Kind of depends on how things go, but I think things started off pretty good. We already got a good idea of like where you're at with the rhythm stuff, and I'm guessing that you're going to have it down pretty quick. I think it's just a matter of, like you said, it's a brand new thing. You're not used to counting it. like the way we did today. Apparently my throat wants to be a jerk right now. But I mean, once you get the hang of it, and like I think you said, you felt like you were starting to get the hang of it a little bit there. So, I mean, you already got some skills, absolutely. So it's just a matter of like we're just gonna polish some stuff up, and we're gonna start progressing into the more intricate, interesting rhythms even sooner. But yeah, one step at a time. But definitely a very good first step today. That's right. One last thing. So, yeah, let's say, once you get what's on screen there, like well past 120, like maybe you're getting up to like 140, 160, you're really pushing your speed there. You can do this with the other scale shapes too. So, like if you find that the maintenance with exercises 1 through 5 plus speed work is like taking like hardly any time at all and you are hungry for more, do this with Dorian. Do this with the Open E Phrygian scale shape. That's another thing you can do. Take all 7 of those modes and learn and practice them starting with the Open E. So there's a little theory assignment for you. Get your 7 modes that come from the major scale all in the open position. If you have any questions with that, let me know. All right, I think we're good here. I will see you again in 2 weeks.